All we gotta do is win. So if they sleep on you, tuck them in. Meet me at the top. If you fall, I'll drop my pen. So many stars in the making, thank you, sing. Eyes on the prize, I say passionate. I got the sauce like Diana, vision like Matheson. They say patience is a virtue, so I went around the world and back again. Now NSL be on the map, no more imagining, it's happening.
Greetings from Laval, Quebec, where the leaders face the champions in the Northern Super League, presented by BMO, official bank of the NSL. Nigel Reid in the booth alongside Canada Sports Hall of Famer Craig Forrest, welcoming you to Stade Boreal as the Montreal Roses tackle the Vancouver Rise. The Roses, well, they're blooming, the only unbeaten team in the NSL, but today they meet a Vancouver team finding its own form and chasing a hat-trick of victories. Craig, let's talk about the backline for Montreal. They've been rock solid. Why are they so good defensively?
Well, they're incredibly durably defensively. They're very aware of what's around them as well, and the comfort that they have on the ball really applies to their offensive zone and how they can penetrate teams with those direct passes forward. They've really feasted on these passes. Boychuk's been absolutely brilliant in those areas, as well as finding Bennett up front to score those goals. But they can cut out passes at the back too. Anna Valerie Seto on the right-hand side, generally Stefan Hill on the other side. Those two are anchoring with the middle of Lucy Capadona, which has been absolutely stellar. And there's a good example of them cutting out passes defensively and why they've only given up 3 goals all season. It's been outstanding from them.
No other team in the NSL could match that defensive record, as you rightly say, just 3 goals against in 5 outings. Stephanie Hill on the left and Valerie Seto on the right-hand side of your screen. This is how they fit into the Montreal Roses lineup, alongside, as you mentioned, Lucy Capadona, that 3 centre-back formation at the back with Pajerski and Boychuk and others, including Megan Sauvé, who can collapse into a back 5. Just one change to the starting lineup. That's the reintroduction of Chaerim Kang, the Korean winger and striker, who comes back into the team for today's game. Lisa Pajerski has had an interesting adventure in the NSL. Last season, won it all with Vancouver, now playing for the Montreal Roses. So up against her old team today. I had a chance to talk to Lisa a little while ago. Lisa, a great start to the season for yourself and the Montreal Roses. Why has it been such a strong start? You're the only unbeaten team in the league.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of really good players. We worked really hard on a lot of things throughout preseason, and we're really happy with the start that we've had. We know there's still a lot of things we need to work on, and we want to keep pushing to do that. But yeah, I think it's all come together for a good start, and we want to continue.
And you've made the move, of course, postseason from Vancouver to Montreal. You seem to have picked up where you left off, contributing, scoring. Are you enjoying your soccer just as much in Quebec?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I think the girls and the coaching staff made it just so easy to fit right in. And my role really complements my best qualities, and I'm trying my best to impact the game as much as I can, and it's just been a lot of fun so far.
We look forward to you impacting the game today, Lisa. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.
1 goal and 3 assists already this season for Lisa Pajerski. She is a clear and present threat. Now, what about a Montrealer in Vancouver? Well, Craig, we're talking about Latifa Abdou, a striker who knows where the goal is, and if you give her time and space, my goodness, she will punish you.
Absolutely, yeah. She's always going to be a threat for Vancouver, and she certainly was last week. It was a tough start, obviously, for Vancouver early in the season. A lot of changes in the roster, but they seem to be finding their feet with a great result away to Halifax and then at home to Toronto. This player is one you're going to have to keep an eye out. She will get those chances, and she has the ability to cut across defenders and has an incredibly powerful shot that you can see here when she scored against Vancouver early in the game, or against Toronto rather, early in the game, to put them on the front foot and win their 2nd game in a row.
Scored 11 goals last season for the 2 clubs, both Montreal and the Vancouver Rise, and is already amongst the goals so far this season. A couple of goals under her belt. She'll be looking for more against her old team today. Here is how Latifa Abdou fits into the Vancouver Rise starting lineup. No surprise, she is the point of attack, supported by Jessica DiFilippo and Josie Longhurst. 3-4-3 formation for the Rise, and it is an unchanged 11 from the team that won last time out, so no problems for the head coach Anja Heine-Muller. We talked about an improving back line for the Rise. I had a chance earlier to talk to centre-back Jessica Coward. Jessica, it was a wobble, to put it mildly, at the start of the season, but last 2 games, 2 wins, you're scoring goals, you're not conceding so many anymore. Can you explain to our viewers what's changed from a defensive point of view and from what you see on the field?
Yeah, I think it's confidence in each other and confidence that we can perform against any team. And so, you know, we've kind of been really open to discussions and open to changing things that we do individually, things we do as a unit, and really locking in on some of the things that we've, you know, felt like we haven't done good enough. And so through all of that, we've kind of built better relationships, gained trust in each other, and that's really given us confidence, especially on the defensive end, to perform.
Now, of course, you're up against the only unbeaten team in the league, but it's important from a Vancouver point of view to keep that momentum going today, I'm sure.
Yeah, 100%. I think momentum, especially in the league where you play each team 5 times, is everything. And so, you know, we came here and we didn't get the result we wanted. We didn't play the way we wanted, but lately we've been kind of on the upswing, and so we want to keep that going, especially going into the international break.
JC, thank you for your time. Enjoy the game.
No worries. Thanks so much.
Ever present at the heart of the back line for the Rise, Jessica Cowart, Filipino international. It's week 6 of the NSL. Montreal Roses, as you see, in first place. A win today will take them 4 points clear. Vancouver Rise have other ideas. They want to get up to 3rd place. That'll be good enough with a win today to leapfrog the Halifax Tides. Weather is very pleasant. It is sunny and 16 Celsius in Laval, but there is a gusty northeasterly wind. Watch out if you're a goalkeeper. We'll be back with the kickoff momentarily. The Northern Super League. We are at Stade Montreal in Laval, Quebec, for the matchup between the leaders, Montreal Roses, and last year's champions, Vancouver Rise, who won it all. We've already highlighted, Craig, the fact that Montreal have been rock solid defensively, but we should also talk about Tanya Boychuk, and we should also talk about Elise Bennett, because they're the joint leading scorers in the league as well.
Oh, they've been so exciting to watch and enjoyable to watch for a neutral, for sure. You're going to see these two create chances and opportunities in every match that they play. They are an absolute handful. A couple of really strong athletes, physically, tactically, technically, they're good everywhere. They're going to be a real handful. They got at Vancouver in the opener of the season, which they dominated. Will Vancouver be able to handle these two players a little bit better? Because they've all also been stepping it up themselves, Vancouver, as they've made so many changes, obviously, from last year to this year, growing into the season. Abdu's been a really excellent player this season for them, creating some chances. Got the penalty last week and also scored a goal for Vancouver. So excellent lineup for Vancouver. I'm expecting a reaction from the opener of the season.
That is Jessica Di Filippo, who also likes to get amongst the goals, puts herself about as well. She's a somewhat physical player, but, you know, at this level, you've got to have all the ingredients to be a professional.
Absolutely, yeah. She'll throw herself about. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And she gives it all. Her work rate is second to none.
Montreal Roses back on home soil. They will attack the goal to your right in their pink and blue shirts in this first 45 minutes, up against the Vancouver Eyes, all in black. And early touch there for Camila Reyes, wearing 10 for the Vancouver Eyes. Colombian, a new face in the Northern Super League so far this season. We spoke in the introduction to the show about both teams playing this back three tactical formation as opposed to a back four. As a goalkeeper, do you have a preference? Did you like to play in front of a back four, or what are your thoughts about playing three centre backs and then wing backs who collapse?
Well, I didn't mind playing the 3 or 4. The 3, you have to make sure those players are aware that if you're in you get countered on, you can drop into a 5 and defend in structure that way as well. So it's important for the midfield to understand where everything is as the game moves forward. And I know the coaches talk about, you know, being countered on the counter when they have the possession and lose it, and that's a big factor. And obviously Vancouver struggled early in the season against the counter attack, and they've been much better in the last couple of games.
Sherim looking for an avenue down the right-hand side, cut off by Mia Pante. Can they play their way out? The visitors, second meeting of the season, as Latifa Abdu makes some room in midfield. Play on is the call, and Di Filippo just outside the penalty area. And they keep the attack going, Vancouver, in the early moments. Referee says it'll be a free kick for the visitors. Robert Rositiu. Spoke to him yesterday. One of the points I made to him was that Montreal made a fast start, very similar to 2026 in the inaugural season, but in the end they only finished 4th and were eliminated in the semi-finals. I said, do you learn anything from that? He said, absolutely not. It was a different time.
It's true.
Different players. It's got nothing to do with what happens in 2026. Filippo. It's a heavy challenge at the back and a free kick in an interesting position for Vancouver Rise as they make their way forward.
Yeah, good awareness is where the offensive pressure was coming from.
Sauvé, wrong side of and about. Now, first moment of pressure for Anna Karpenko at the back for Montreal. Needs to get her angles right. As we said, you can see the net bristling there. It is a gusty wind. And needs to make sure her defenders are in the wall that she will build. As Reyes will take responsibility for the free kick. Early chance to test Karpenko in goal for Montreal. It's best part of 25 yards out. Will she swing it in? Will she go for goal? It's low, it's into the wall. Second chance for Reyes, but couldn't keep it down and behind for a goal kick.
Well, the two-player wall did the job, but you have to expect better from Reyes there on the delivery. Needs to be put into the dangerous area, especially with this wind, and the goalkeepers are going to struggle with it. Defenders are going to struggle judging it. You know, don't let them down. Don't disappoint them. Put something into the dangerous area and test the defense.
Montreal certainly tested the defense, and then some the last time they met, back in early May. Last meeting between these two teams. Montreal took Vancouver to the cleaners, won by 4-0. A couple of goals on that day for Boychuk. But as we've said, there have been signs of life for Vancouver Rise. They've won their last 2 after 3 substandard defeats to open the season. and it looks like they're beginning to find their feet. We talked to Jessica Cowart about building momentum, and that's so important, isn't it, over a period of games?
Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously with the changes that they've had since last season, and also having a target on your back, being the champions,
Right.
that's always going to be the case, and that's what it has been early on in the season. It's a good opening start here from Vancouver, much better than we saw in the opening start of the season when they played here last time when they got hammered. You talked about putting them on the front foot, putting some pressure on the defense when they're under pressure, because we talk about how good they are and comfortable they are, that they will pick out a pass into your own defensive zone if you don't put some pressure on them.
Mia Pante rides a couple of challenges. Can she find the right cross towards the back post? Needs to be dealt with. Stephanie Hill volleys it clear. Montreal just trying to get a foot on the ball and play their own game. But so far, as you rightly say, it's been a bright start from the Rise. Back heel was meant for Pante. And Valerie Seto strong in possession. Usually plays on the right-hand side of that back three. This is Lucy Capadonna. She's played every minute in the middle of that back three, and Hill, the third member of that triumvirate, at the back. And right on cue here is Hill, prods it forward. And out to that left-hand side, which is Megan Sauvé territory. Just slowing it down, Hill, for the time being. Roses, 5 games played, 4 wins, just 1 tie. Calgary the only team to take a point off them so far this season. And a win today for Montreal. Another one would take them 4 points clear of the Ottawa Rapid, who won last evening in Halifax. Anja Heine-Muller, who had reason to celebrate at the end of 2025, when the Rise became the NSL's inaugural champions with that dramatic win over AFC Toronto. Just helped it on as far as Seto, safety first. Hill looking for an option, decides to go all the way back. Montreal 4 wins out of 5. Vancouver have won the last 2. Now then, chance here perhaps for Pechersky into the middle. Keeper stays at home, and she really shouldn't have done. And Elise Bennett is all smiles. Keeper uncertain. Bennett made her pay. And within the first 8 minutes, the Roses lead by a goal to 0.
Well, that was brilliant from Montreal. Vancouver's had all the ball, the offensive zone for sure. And there's Montreal with the first opportunity to get something forward, get in behind. And you're right, there was some bad decision making from Vancouver defensively, and the goalkeeper, not sure if Walsh could have come for her, but what she didn't do is get herself set for the shot to be able to get a chance to get a hand to it. This is really good wide play. The ball spinning on the pitch made a drastic effect on the play too. Well finished by Bennett. She's not going to miss from there. You have to close those angles really, really quickly as a defender doesn't do so, and Wolf gets beat too easy in my opinion.
Wolf decided initial instinct was to come, then checked that run, went back, and that left the room for Bennett to come in and finish first time and give the Roses a flying start. Pante trying to address the balance at the other end of the field.
I think that little nick on the cross, Nigel, when they put the spin on the ball on this artificial surface, as a goalkeeper, you're watching the spin on the ball, knowing that it's going to hit the ground, come away from you, and really not give you a good chance to come and close it down. But, so I thought from the decision-making side of things, it was probably the right decision, but you got to get yourself set to be able to defend the shot, and I think that's where she let herself down a bit.
First attack of any real substance from the Roses leads to the opening goal over the top of Sauvé and into touch for a throw to the Rise. And Elise Bennett has the goal-scoring lead all to herself for the time being. That was her 5th goal of the season with the American striker. So plenty of experience in the NWSL and is doing what is expected of her with her new club in Montreal. Clinical finish. She had one chance to finish it and belted it past Wolf into the back of the net.
Well, I think that's the difference between the Montreal side and the rest of the league so far this season, is that even if they're not playing at their very, very best, when they do get an opportunity, they're finishing them really well. So you're always going to get those chances and you're going to get some goals. And if you can keep yourself just structurally, defensively, really sound, you're obviously going to win some games. You're not going to lose an awful lot.
Bennett trying to get involved again, putting pressure. That high press, important, trying to keep Vancouver hemmed in and around their own penalty area. Rim will let it run into touch. 10 minutes gone. Seto back for Capadona, square for Hill. Sauvé has some room on that left-hand side. Hill thinks better of it. Seto, Rim cutting inside, looking for that early ball forward. It might come all the way through for Bennett again. Keeps it in. Boychuk in and around the 6-yard box. Referee says it was a body check on Reyes.
Yeah, another good delivery. Gets Vancouver twisted, turned defensively, facing goal. Bennett just let herself down a little bit with the touch and eventually gave the ball away a little bit cheaply because they were in good possession there, Montreal.
It's one of those that she could have taken with her left foot, but it wasn't her favorite. Kept it in play, but another promising move on this occasion allows Vancouver off the hook. Good pressure again from Boychuk. They're really pressing a high line. Longhurst out to the left-hand side. Pante forward. They're just trying to get themselves restarted, right? They did the first 2 or 3 minutes. Abdu lays it back, then makes her way forward. Surieka forward, looking for Di Filippo. It'll come all the way back to Yaka. Being worried by Pachurski. Already another assist. That's her 4th of the season, by the way, against her old team. Koiminas and then Bilbao from fully 35 yards. Perhaps there were better options for the French player.
Well, when you're playing with some confidence, I don't mind seeing that once in a while. Keep things in the defense a little bit honest as well, that you're willing to have a pop from a long way out. And with the wind, if you get one on target, it could cause some troubles to the goalkeepers.
Wolf with the wind at her back. Volleyed forward by Capadona. Di Filippo trying to control it. Quinn, captain of the Vancouver Rise, trying to find Pante. Rim spotted the intended pass. Pante forced backwards by Pachurski and Rim. Good endeavor by the Korean, battling it up against Reyes. Pachurski in quickly again. Pachurski will have a go. Pachurski couldn't curl it. You can see what she was trying to do. Kicking into the wind, which didn't help.
What a lively start by her, just absolutely just causing havoc everywhere down the side, and even when she wants to cut in so she can get a shot on deck. But you're absolutely right, she tried to wrap her foot around that and sort of draw it with her left foot into the top corner, but just came off her foot a little bit awkwardly.
I saw her do it on more than one occasion when she wore the colors of the Vancouver Rise in 2025, so don't be in any doubt that Lisa Pachurski has a shot on her as well. Genuinely two-footed, didn't quite get the curl she wanted on that one.
She's so sharp as well in possession. When she has the ball at her feet, she can move the ball and adjust it a yard or two one way or the other, just so comfortably. It's just really hard to defend against.
Seto, Pachurski again. Is Bennett onside? Well, she slowed her run. She was almost at walking pace. I think she knew the flag was coming.
Yeah, they're waiting for the flag to go up. That might be a little bit tighter than we first thought. No, yeah.
Flag went up anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Good decision.
The assistant referee is a lot closer than we are, and in line with the last defender. Run kindly for Jesse Longhurst. DiFilippo trying to turn. Abdu will give chase under pressure. Capadonna, but Latifa Abdu needs to pull it back. Possibilities. It's there. Referee's going to give it. There are protests, but there was a foul before the final shot came in. But the Rise don't care about that. And it might be Reyes who got the final touch into the top corner. And the protests will go unheard. And Vancouver, after a quarter of an hour, are back on terms. It's 1-1.
Well, if you want to see chances and opportunities, this is going to be a good game for it. We were hoping for it, and it's definitely turned out to be that way. Has not disappointed one bit. Abdu, we talked about her out of the opening, how difficult she is to play against and how dangerous. She picks out a decent pass. It was pretty well defended against DiFilippo, and then it drops to Reyes, and she made a really nice finish here.
And about actually, I think, has got the final touch right there. But was there a foul before Bout lashed it into the top corner? Referee was close by and decided there wasn't a foul, and a first career NSL goal for Anna Bout. Vancouver have responded. 1-1 in Laval.
Wasn't the easiest of finishes either. Had a lot of bodies in front of her before that hit the top of the net. Very well finished. Just some power and accuracy.
So we're all square. We're back where we started. 2 goals in the opening 16 minutes. So there'll be no clean sheets today at Stade Boreal. That much we can be certain. And whatever merits there may have been for the protest that there was a foul, doesn't matter now. It'd be interesting to look at that again, perhaps at half-time, see what sort of contact there was. But Miriam Marcotte, one of Canada's most experienced referees, a FIFA official, decided there wasn't enough contact to award a foul either way. Wave play on, and Bout smashed it into the top corner to draw the Rise level.
There was certainly an awful lot going on when that play happened, but I didn't honestly see, in my opinion, that there was enough there to call a foul. But you can always have another look at for the referees to see that at real time. Very, very difficult.
Suriyaka back for JC. Jessica Cowart looking for the long raking ball to the left-hand side. Che Rim will deal with it. Karpenko clears up to halfway. Yaka will pick it up again. Here's Captain Quinn going right this time. And picks it up. The ball infield. Turn from Reyes. Out again. Looking for the give and go. The corner is conceded. Megan Survey having to track back. Mia Pante takes the ball over to the corner quadrant. Now this is where, as we mentioned, you can see it's a gusty wind, and sometimes keepers can be deceived by the flight of the ball. in these circumstances.
Yeah, and if I'm either one of these sides, I'm whipping the ball into the 6-yard box to test the goalkeeper out of the gate.
What Pante's trying to do. Pechersky volleys it away. Big cheers from the home fans. Goal scorer to goalkeeper. Yeka, last player back. And about will get Vancouver going again. Quinn. Abdu coming deep to get involved. Early ball into the area. It's just a push in the back. Just on the edge of the penalty area. And a free kick for the Roses. Capadona for Hill. Survey to her left. Good press. Will be a Montreal throw. Back with Capadona. Penko turns the favour. Montreal, credit them, they've got the confidence to play their way out of the back.
Yeah, and they've done it very well playing through that pressure. Very important, obviously. But it's good if you can keep that possession and run those forwards too. Run them ragged for an hour or so. You'll create some more space and time because they will tire.
When inviting the run on that far side, early ball in was meant for Abdu, took a deflection and ran kindly for Karapenko. Rolls it out to Seto. Well, they both scored, and now we've entered a little bit of a stalemate. But you never know. Never take your eyes off this game. Shea Rim took a tumble. Referee decided there was nothing wrong with the challenge. There goes Shea Rim again. They managed to find it out to the left-hand side. It'll be a Montreal ball. And they're trying to help it on. Another new face in the NSL. Tori Tumeth, Australian international, on the right-hand side of the back three for Vancouver. Capadona just taking a moment to weigh up her options. Bennett coming deep. Sometimes as a striker you have to do that. You have to play with your back to goal, bring others forward into it.
Yeah, and it gives you the option too. If she comes to feet to pop one over the top, as we talked about with these very comfortable defenders on the ball, looking to penetrate with those long passes.
Back with Stephanie Hill, nice natural left footer. Capadona rock solid at the back, played every minute. One of the first names on the team sheet, I would imagine, on a weekly basis. Seto. Just past the halfway mark of the first half on a gusty afternoon in Laval. Karpenko beaten and Wolf beaten at the other end of the field, all in the first 15-16 minutes. Vancouver ball, says the referee. Quinn lets it roll across their body. Left-footed forward, Abdu thinking about turning and striking. I've seen her do that before. Yeka. Pante looking for the give and go. Diligent defending from Seto. It's going to be a Montreal ball. The referee's pointing the other direction. Seto needs an option. He's down the line. Pechersky and Quinn. A little too over physical from Pechersky. Gets us underway again. Ante Chirim stood her ground, finds Paczerski, who finds her feet. Capadonna. Penko, well, he made a mistake here, and Abdu was almost in, and Hill had to react really quickly. Just occasionally you get moments of momentary lapses at the back for Montreal. Doesn't happen very often.
No, it doesn't happen very often, but this is what Vancouver's trying to prowl and look for those little opportunities. Abdu does very well to close down the goalkeeper and create that little opportunity. But yeah, you have to be very careful with your possession, and they are generally. But Vancouver, like I said, they're waiting for those little opportunities to see if they can work their way into chances from something coughed up in the final third for Montreal.
Capadonna decides to go longer this time, looking for Bennett, but Yeka had read it. Now Chirim, forward momentum for Montreal. Paczerski with a little bit of space. If you're a Vancouver player, you don't want to give this player some space. Paczerski trying to get round the back of Pante, does so, and in the end it was poked away from danger by Josie Longhurst.
Yeah, well done to Longhurst there, but Paczerski, wow, I mean, this is the type of player that you pay money to go see. Players that could take others on, get around them, get balls in the dangerous area. She's doing that all game long. It's been an absolute handful here in the first half an hour of this match.
It's a real joy to watch Lisa Paczerski. Scampers after everything. The corner. The referee is going to have a word. Touch tight, but no bear hugging, please, says Miriam Marcotte. Boheminas will take the corner for Montreal into a dangerous area. Defended initially, but plenty still forward. Paczerski picks up the loose ball. Seto towards the top of the box. Bennett gives chase. Montreal throw. Bonnet will probably leave it to one of her teammates. She should be in and around the penalty area. And indeed, Steph Hill will come over and take the throw. Fine Bilbao, forced to head it forward. Edge of the area. Finally volleyed clear. Seto and Capadonna. Last defender back. Minas and Bilbao trying to turn. Buys herself a little bit of time and space. Bilbao again. Again inviting Paczerski to run inside the penalty area. And Yeka deals with it. Those balls over the top inside the fullback, they're tough to defend.
They are, and the surface actually plays well to that too. You clip a ball in, you know that ball is going to hold up on an artificial surface. It's a completely different surface than natural, and you have to be able to deal with it and use it in your as an advantage when you can, and they certainly do that, Montreal.
Cowart, USA born, Filipino international, helped country qualify for the next Women's World Cup and I believe the next Olympic Games, which are only a couple of years away in LA. Seto robbed by Pante. Quinn using their body to protect the ball.
Quinn makes the game look easy sometimes, finding those little pockets and space. Good touch, good ability to find other players.
Capadonna across to clear. As Anabout made her way forward into the penalty area. More defending to do for the Roses. Touch off from the Colombian Reyes. Pante's seen plenty of the ball on this left-hand side. Up against Chirim again. Beats that. Into the area it goes. Longhurst. Suspicion of handball. Referee saw nothing wrong with it. Pecherski needs some help. Bennett's all alone if she can be found. Just too much on it, and that's disappointing, and it would have been offside anyway. But Pecherski and Bennett, yeah, look at the frustration on Pecherski's face. She made the break.
Yeah, she did. She did really well again, getting down this line with some pace and power. She's actually frustrated because I think she's running. Look, she's actually doing some talking while she's in possession, wondering where that run was being done. And I think she wanted it in a different area. Wanted the run cut across to create some more opportunities, maybe for a shot from Pecherski herself, or being able to just delicately put one through the defenders. But offside it was anyway.
A couple of times now that Bennett has been caught offside. She was completely unmarked. The assistant referee's flag came to the aid of the Vancouver Rise as Cowart brings it forward for the 2025 champions. Tumeth, Quinn, back for the Australian, calls her own number. Filippo, forward. Filippo looking for the spring the back line, but there was nobody in Vancouver shirt in that area of the field. Cavadona will start again. Seto to her right. Rudeau, the vertical pass. He got something on that, but Elise Bennett was in quickly. And about right place at the right time for Vancouver to break that up. Cherim. Oh, that looked like a trip from Reyes to me. The referee agrees.
Reyes is never afraid of putting a foot in and try to make a challenge. Gets up and close and personal often, and sometimes you get caught.
She didn't try and disguise that one, did she?
No.
Week 6 of the Northern Super League brought to you by BMO, official bank of the NSL. 1-1 in Laval. Early goal from Elise Bennett inside the first 10 minutes, cancelled out by Anna Bout's first NSL goal after 16 minutes. So 1-1 in the sunshine. Seto for Capadonna. Interesting point you made there earlier. We were talking yesterday to Anja Heinemuller, head coach of the Vancouver Rise, and oh, well, that's fair according to Abdu on Pecherski, who has stayed down. William Marcotte, the referee, saw nothing wrong with the challenge, and Pecherski is slow to rise, wondering why the whistle didn't go. Clean tackle according to the referee. Megan Sauvé buying a little bit of time and room, finds Bennett behind her. It's back to the point I was making, talking to Anja, the Vancouver Rise coach, and the fact that they were champions last year, and when you come into a new season in 2026, and you referenced it earlier, there is a real target. Everybody wants to beat you, and you know, just gives that extra, I don't know, 10-15%.
It absolutely does. Here's a little look at the foul we saw against Pecherski, or lack of. I mean, got the ball, was a little bit of contact against the player first, perhaps, but a stern challenge that the referee saw as fair.
Jessica Wolf, who was making her third start, having, for the time being at least, won the goalkeeping race for the starting jersey ahead of Morgan McCasson, who was the winner of the Golden Glove in 2025. Tussle in midfield, breaks for Reyes. Yaka. Vertical for Quinn, that's interesting. Abdu and Karpenko. Well, oh, it's going to be a yellow card here. Right on the edge of the area. Marcotte saw something on that occasion and has awarded a free kick to the Rise just a yard or so outside the Montreal penalty area. And the first yellow card of the contest.
Well, it's a really dangerous ball in behind. Abdu is obviously on the end of it. We talked about her earlier, how she likes to cut across defenders and draw contact, or if you do, you're going to cause troubles, draw fouls, and that's exactly what happened on that particular play at the top of the box in a dangerous position.
Goal side of Capadonna, and there were arms on the back of Abdu, correctly spotted by the referee. Yellow card for Lucy Capadonna. First caution of the game. 4 in the wall. That's how close it is. Di Filippo and Reyes. Di Filippo, oh my goodness me, it smashed off the crossbar. And Karpenko was beaten all ends up and got a fortunate break from the frame of the goal. At the other end of the field, Bennett is onside this time. Needs some help. Being shepherded to the right-hand side by Yeka. Finally out of play. Have a look at this free kick again, Craig.
Wow, what a strike. Really was just brilliantly struck. Hits it with a ton of power. We're not going to... Blustery, of course, but I don't think it's going to affect the ball much. But the goalkeeper really is beating all hands up. But the power of that shot was brilliant. Oh. Unfortunate for her, it was about 3 inches, a little bit on the high side.
I think the crossbar is probably still vibrating. Filippo certainly got that one. Seto in an advanced position into the area. Wolf punches it away. Hill brings it down, and then Sauvé straight into the arms of the Vancouver goalkeeper. Wasn't the most convincing of punches from Jessica Wolf. And then the follow-up shot was a comfortable save. Pechersky up against Pante. Touch inside for Minas. Way back for Seto. And, not sure she was expecting it back from Bilbao. Keeps it in play. Do sees it out. Vancouver ball. Well, no lack of entertainment or opportunities in this first half. We could be looking at something like 2-2 at this stage, easily.
Yeah, chances at both ends. It's really an absolute delight to watch.
A little over 7 minutes to go till half-time. Did that ball go out? I fancy it did. Before Longhurst knocked it back in, so Seto will take the throw for the Roses. Minas half controlled it. Bennett did control it. Finds Pechersky, who's moved over to a more central position. Pechersky still going. Numbers forward. Helped on. And the crossbar at the other end this time. This time it's Chloe Minas. Must have thought the net was going to bulge. She was given time to bring it down and volley it. And just a couple of inches away from Montreal restoring their lead.
Crazy, Nigel, really is. Great touch inside as well. Gets it, swivels it, hits the shot that was going to be destined for the top corner. Another one crashes off the bar. Oh. You'd be brave to pick a winner in this. You really at this stage.
You cannot take your eyes off it.
No.
Woodwork rattled at both ends in the space of, what, 3 minutes, 4 minutes? Fans are certainly getting their money's worth. Cowart trying to restore some sort of order defensively. Tumouth to her right. Cowart finds Abdu. She's strong. Capadona takes no chances.
Montreal playing quite a high line there, and Abdu making some good runs across the back line, looking for that ball over the top. That needed just a little bit more distance on it, but it's certainly on.
About, did she keep it in? Keeper's come, I think actually. She didn't need to, and she didn't. Need a little word from the assistant. The ball had crossed the goal line. So, final analysis, Karpenko didn't need to come and claim that. It is a goal kick for Montreal. Last 5 minutes of a very entertaining first half. Hill, left-footed, looking forward, only as far as Cowart. Reyes will take the shot on. Karpenko solidly got her body behind it. Well, I can't wait to see the halftime stats in terms of shots on target. I've never quite worked out, well, I guess I have. I suppose if the ball strikes the woodwork, the bar or the post, it's technically not a shot on target, but my goodness, we're getting entertainment aplenty. Stade Boreal, Pechersky trying to find the run of Boychuk on that occasion. Yeka with time. Cowart.
Both teams are like for like when they have possession at the back. The three at the back, again, comfortable.
You know, it's one of those games you get to like 2 minutes before the half and you think, oh, well, I'll try and be in the front of the concession stand at half time. But this is the sort of game where you don't want to leave 60 seconds before the end of the half, do you?
No, exactly. Yeah, just when you think things are slowing down, it just picks up pace and you get chances galore. So it's fun.
Yeka needs to be careful, is dispossessed, and Pechersky and Boychuk's making the run for her. Pechersky intent on keeping possession, finds Cherim. Cherim took a deflection of Pante, who gets fortunate bounce. Quinn knocks it forward, finds Abdu. Fair challenge as the referee. Hill. Capadona to her left on this occasion. See whether that's a tactical switch of that back three, with Hill in the middle and Capadona on the left-hand side, or whether that's just a temporary measure. Longhurst for Vancouver, Reyes, the Colombian, back for Cowart. Reyes again, time to turn. Cowart away from Boychuk. Filippo. Cowart looking to pierce the defense. Abdu trying to take it in stride. Took a tumble, looked towards the referee. Nothing doing that occasion. Now they've got to just sort themselves out. Capadona and Seta almost got in each other's way there.
Abdu has been a handful, as we expected.
Of course.
Covers a lot of pitch too, like defensively, just does a lot of closing down and then talking to her back line and trying to squeeze up her team to put more pressure on.
Well, that answers that question. Capadona now back in the middle of that back three with Hill to her left, Seta to the right. Pechersky away from Pante, and Cherim has room to measure the ball across the 6-yard box. Or was that a handball? It was in the end from Bennett.
Yeah, well spotted by the official.
Yep.
It was an advantage gained there for sure. But Pechersky again being well involved in the build-up on his right-hand side, and decent defending, comes up and hits the hand, and handball.
Last 30 seconds. of an enthralling first half in Laval. Can't remember any notable stoppages. Maybe a moment minute or so to add on for the celebrations at either end of the field, but other than that, not much. Longhurst, Pante, find a way around Shirim. Quinn for Cowart. Play on, Boychuk does that. Now, momentarily 3-on-3, it's Bennett. Well, Bennett was trying to pick out Pajerski, but she had time to steady herself and take the shot. And now the shot does come in off the woodwork again. And Cowart scrambles it clear for Vancouver. 3 times in this half, the woodwork has come to the aid of the goalkeepers. Talking about going for that early half-time cup of tea, forget it.
There you go. Yeah, goalkeeper's best friend has come to the rescue a few times.
That looked like a holding shirt from Anabout, it was.
And a booking.
You're right, for the goal scorer. So 1 yellow card apiece. Miriam Marcotte just makes a note. We just about played the full 45 minutes. That was the tug from About and led to the yellow card. Free kick for the Roses in the closing seconds of the first half, as there were time for one more chance offside, and that should just about do it. And Miriam Marcotte blows her whistle for half-time in Laval. Well, what a first half we've had. Elise Bennett scoring the early goal for Montreal, and About responding for the Vancouver Rise. But the woodwork has been the goalkeeper's best friend. 3 more occasions where we could have seen more goals, Craig.
Yeah, it's been thoroughly enjoyable. It's sort of disappointing as halftime because I just wanted to keep this this pace up and opportunities, and really good football all around too. Some technically really good players out there are comfortable on the ball, and it's been really fun to watch.
They've been putting the highlights together in the back room, and let me tell you, there are plenty of highlights. We'll show you exactly what happened in the first half when we come back. Half-time in Montreal, it's 1-1.
This is gonna be good.
Hey you, are you looking for a new hobby? Well boy do I have the best one for you.
We'll start off nice and easy. McMahon Stadium, Olympic Stadium. Can't get any more rowdy than that.
Family. Who doesn't love a family feel?
I'm just gonna cut to the chase here. I'm not gonna waste your guys' time. I'm not gonna take up 18 minutes of this video to tell you you should come support Toronto, because you should already know that you should support Toronto.
And you know where you can get that? The Halifax Tides.
Our players, incredibly talented, incredibly inspiring to watch.
Do you like sports? How about women's sports? If you don't, it means you just haven't even watched them yet.
The people on the team are amazing. Olivia Scott, number 18, is super cool. She's a great center back. Watch out for her.
Why not come out in July? Stampede, biggest rodeo in all of North America. We got cowboys, cowgirls, country singers, rappers, music artists. Best thing yet, Wild also plays during the 2 weeks Stampede is on, so you can go to Stampede all day, come party with the Wild all night.
If I was you, I would definitely pick an NSL team that is nearest to you, or just pick the Vancouver Rise.
Representing the Maritimes, representing the East Coast.
We wear really cool colors and have a lot of fun stuff going on at the game, a lot of giveaways.
Come out, go tailgate with the Storty family in the parking lot before the game, and make sure you come say hi to me after.
Why wouldn't you want Toronto? We have Drake, Justin Bieber, The Weeknd, ketchup chips.
Watch the Tides make a statement, because the tides are turning.
I love that. You knew what you were doing with that one, yeah.
I like to keep everyone on their toes.
I don't know. Skip. Can we go back to it?
One word for 2026.
Growth. Exciting. Legendary.
Baller.
2 words for 2026, round 2.
The vibe in our locker room is
Young. No.
Killer.
Hype. The vibe is good. Yeah, the vibe is really fun.
Immaculate.
The vibes in our locker room is just fun.
most underrated teammate.
Ooh, underrated teammate. I just met them.
I think JC's an incredible player in our back line. I think she's going to be really exciting this year.
Annika Toad. I think she's a great goalkeeper and everybody should get to know her more. Honestly, Shaman Bibo, but is she underrated? I don't know. She's properly rated. Probably the twins. They could be together.
Flo. You just like her personality, you would never know until you get to know her, and then she's like quite literally one of the funniest people you'll ever meet.
So you gotta pick one of your teammates who's taking the last shot.
I choose Quinny with my eyes closed.
Annie for one last shot. She's solid.
Maggie.
DB Pridham.
Tanya Bochek.
Olivia Scott.
The league better watch out for blank.
Ottawa Rapid.
Montreal Roses 2026.
Us. For Vancouver, like, obviously.
The league better watch out for the Tides.
Halifax Tides, new team this year.
Calgary Wild.
The league better watch out for Vancouver because we're ready to rise.
We're gonna end off
You
on
like
I
that
love
one?
that. You knew what you were doing with that one, yeah. The NSL is blank.
Inspiring.
An amazing group of incredible women.
Is a great place to showcase Canadian young talents. La Ligue est inspirante.
The NSL is a dream come true.
The NSL is powerful.
The NSL is now.
Half-time in Laval. Spectators getting value for money. Lots of opportunities. We'll show you those in just a moment. It's 1-1 between the Montreal Roses and the Vancouver Rise. Talking of rising, young Canadian players getting together for the Canadian U20 squad very soon. Let's get more on that now from Kate and from Erin.
Welcome back to the NSL on TSN. Well, the next FIFA Women's International window is fast approaching, so teams are currently releasing their rosters, and multiple NSL players have made the cut. Right now, 8 players with ties to the NSL will be representing their countries in this next window. For Canada, you've got Melissa Dagenet and DB Pridham. You've also got players suiting up for Ghana, the Philippines, Ukraine, Jamaica. And speaking of Jamaica, AFC Toronto captain Nikki Small getting an opportunity with the Reggae Girls, but she's someone, Aaron, who has suited up for Canada before at the youth level. She's also been called into camp with the senior team. Great for Nikki Small, great for Jamaica, but is this a loss for this country?
I totally think it's a loss for this country. I thought she was fantastic last season. She's such a crafty little player, so technical, her movement off the ball. But this season, she's already improved her game so much, so many things that she worked on in the offseason, and she's a leader. This is the type of person that you definitely want in your squad. Jamaica has a great side, but obviously, I think it's Canada's loss.
So the full team will be in camp, but so will the under-20s. Canada's under-20 side will be heading to Spain later this month, and 5 players with ties to the NSL are named to that squad. Aaron, so many Canadians familiar with you from your time with the senior women's team, but you also represented Canada at the U19 level. How valuable is that experience, was that experience for you, especially when you were that young?
I think such an important part of the development of a young player is giving them different roles, whether they're on the field, whether they're on the bench, whether they're a player that has to produce goals in different pressure environments. So I think these youth tournaments really capitalize on that, and then they're able to bring those experiences back to this league.
It's critical for a player and so valuable for a player to represent their country at any time, but this particular gathering is massive for this under-20 team because it is the last time they will get together before the under-20 Women's World Cup in Poland in September.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Erin. Sun is shining in Laval. It is 1-1 in the Montreal Roses. We'll show you all the highlights in just a moment or two.
Welcome on board our new Triangle Rewards and WestJet Rewards partnership. Prior to earning, ensure your accounts are securely linked. In the event you shop or fly with us, earn Canadian Tire money and WestJet points on all eligible purchases. Breathe normally and secure your own rewards before assisting others. Take a moment to locate where you can spend once and earn twice. Link today and watch your rewards take off.
Everyone watches women's sports because why wouldn't you?
Because it brings us together. It's competitive and exciting and new and fresh.
The women who play are so competitive, so tough, fierce, and just leave their emotions all out on the field.
Everybody watches women in sport because we're the best.
Everyone watches women's sports because greatness has no gender.
Because we're a bunch of badass athletes and we love to compete and we're just fun to be around.
Because it's fun and exciting.
Tout le monde regarde le sport féminin parce que les femmes ont eu besoin de briser beaucoup de barrières pour arriver où elles sont aujourd'hui. Donc ça vaut la peine qu'on les regarde et qu'on les encourage.
Everyone watches women's sports because they have good taste. And they should.
Because this is just the beginning.
And at the end of the day, I am proud to kick like a girl, play like a girl, and score like a girl.
All we gotta do is win. So if they sleep on you, tuck them in. Meet me at the top. If you bought, I'll drop my pen. So many stars in the making, things you sing. Eyes on the prize, I say passionate. I got the sauce like Diana, vision like medicine. They say patience is a virtue, so I went around the world and back again. Now NSL be on the map, no more imagining, it's happening.
It is week 6 of the Northern Super League. We are in Laval for Montreal Roses, the leaders, the unbeaten leaders against the 2025 champions, the Vancouver Rise. That's the halftime score. 2 goals, Craig Forrest, but so much more to talk about. Let's work our way through these highlights, and they came fast and furious. The opening goal, less than 10 minutes gone, and Elise Bennett.
Yeah, it was. You have to say it was against the run of play. Not that Vancouver created really great openings, but just let this roll forward here. You can just see how dangerous the Montreal are. We talked about that as well, that if you give them any opportunities, they're going to score goals. They're going to create them. We know that. This one was a little bit tricky. This one takes a little bit of a deflection on the cross, or not a great cross, and maybe it wasn't, but certainly the backspin fooled the goalkeeper Wolf. She stayed at home, doesn't set herself properly probably for the shot, and Bennett finishes from close range.
So Bennett with her 5th goal of the season. Montreal off to a flying start, but it didn't last very long because Vancouver got themselves together and got themselves back in the game with a cheeky little equalizer.
Yeah, you know, and I was wondering what they were going to do as far as the reaction after giving it up, especially having so much of the play early on. This one here, Filippo gets in there, challenges, is that a foul? You know, I think if the referee on another day sees that, I think they would give that, but it would happen a lot, lots of action going on, and it's one apiece.
So this is actually, we were showing you the build-up there, whether there was a foul or not. Referee decided to give nothing at that stage. Here's the full replay, and it's Anna Bout with the left-footed strike, playing to the whistle. That's what you do as a player, and Anna Bout scored her first NSL goal to tie it up just after a quarter of an hour. So 1-1 at that stage, and we wondered where the game would go from there. Well, let's show you exactly where it went from there. We had a lot of goal-mouth action, and woodwork rattled, let's put it that way.
Yeah, DeFilippo actually showing some power here, just getting her laces right into it, and just hits it about as well as you possibly can. Is it 3 or 4 inches, a little bit on the high side, comes crashing at the bar. I think it's still wobbling now.
So it could have been 2-1 to Vancouver, but then Chloe Minas at the other end smashes it against the woodwork as well.
Yeah, she does well because she just turns her body, sees that there's no pressure on, decides that she's going to try her luck, and it comes crashing off the bar.
Talking of trying your luck, Minas again, this time from 30 yards. Wolf got just a fingertip on it and diverted it onto the bar. Oh my goodness me.
Yeah, it was a good strike again, and you're right, I think Wolf actually did get a fingertip to it to keep that one out of the back of the net.
So here are the fulsome stats at the end of a really entertaining first half. Vancouver Rise just edging possession, but look at all those attempts on goal. The fans are really getting value for money, aren't they?
It's great.
It really is. The Roses and the Rise tied at 1-1 at halftime.
Hi, I'm Diana Matheson, legend of the field and founder of the Northern Super League. Are you wondering where to watch Northern Super League matches live this season? Confused by TV networks, channels, streams, and schedules? You could visit NSL.ca and download the 2026 schedule to your smartphone, but who's got time for that? Not me. That's why we're introducing the 2026 Northern Super League game schedule hotline. Just dial 1-833-NSL Live and we'll tell you where to watch every match. It's simple, it's easy. It's like the opposite of AI. No, seriously, call it. They made me pre-record all the weekly messages, and we have like 80 matches.
Call the NSL schedule hotline now. 1-833-NSL Live. That's 1-833-NSL Live. It's free, it's real, and yes, you can leave us a message. Tell us where you're watching from. Tell us your favorite team. Tell us why everyone should watch the Northern Super League. Call now, find out where and when to watch, and tune in.
The very first watch party on YouTube takes place tomorrow afternoon as Week 6 rolls along. Join Kate and Darren. Be at McMahon Stadium for the Calgary Wild against AFC Toronto, streaming live on YouTube at 4 Eastern tomorrow afternoon. Let's hope the weather is as good there and the entertainment is as invigorating as we've seen in the first 45 minutes in Laval Stade L'Oreal. Nigel Reid and Craig Forrest with you, enjoying the action. Latifa Abdu has a word with her head coach. I wonder what odds you'd give against Abdu scoring in the second half against her old team. There's been so many attempts on goal at both ends of the field, hasn't there?
Might be a better chance of another one coming off the bar or post or something, the way things are going. Don't think that's ever happened in the first half or any half of the NSL in history.
Well, our statistician, who hats off to Justin, who's told us that first time in the history of the NSL that one player has struck the crossbar twice in the same game. So maybe Chloe Minas' time is coming. Maybe she was just sizing up the goal as the teams return to the field for the start of the second half, reminding you it is just a 1-1 game despite all those attempts and bars rattling and so on and so forth. Goal scorers Elise Bennett for Montreal and Anna Bout for the Vancouver Rise. All inside the first 16 minutes as the second half gets underway with the Rise all in a black kit attacking the goal to your right in the second half against the pink and blue jerseys of the unbeaten Montreal Roses. Just glancing around to see if there are any half-time substitutions. None obvious at the moment. I'm told there aren't. Minas out and muscled in the early seconds. Back for JC, as her teammates call her, Jessica Cowett, the heart of that back three for the Vancouver Rise. So 1-1 at half-time as we start the second half. And just to confirm, no half-time substitutions for either side. Jessica Di Filippo, who was the first to rattle the woodwork in an exciting first half of play. And about forced to retreat quickly to keep it in play. Managed to do so successfully.
Well, one thing at the halftime discussion would have been a lot different than it was a few weeks ago when these two teams played and where Montreal absolutely dominated. So from that standpoint, what an incredible achievement really from Vancouver's point of view over the last few weeks, winning at Halifax away, then winning back at home in Vancouver, now traveling all the way back to Montreal and competing against this team that's been unbeaten so far this season and really been the yardstick for the league. And they have to be happy with that first half and see if they can keep it going. But I got to say that with all those games, that's a lot of travel, Nigel. I mean, so it will affect the legs in the last 20 minutes or so of the match for Vancouver, we'll see.
Managing minutes, all important. Sauvé into the penalty area, all the way across, just behind Pechersky. Cherim trying to win it back, keep the movement going. Second phase, again behind Pechersky, as Vancouver look to clear. Good industry by Montreal to keep this move going. Plenty forward. Boychuk back for Capadonna. And Seto had a chance to take it further, decided not to on that occasion. Still plenty forward. Cherim trying to find Pechersky on that right-hand side. Longhurst needs a little bit of help and manages to get a ricochet. Now, I mean, you've been in plenty of half-time dressing rooms. After a first half like that, what does the coach say? What's the vibe in the dressing room that's going around, even though it's all square?
Well, like I talked about Vancouver, they've obviously going to see full of energy in the dressing room, thinking that's a very good half of football. We dominated at times. We created some chances as well. We need to be a little bit tighter defensively. And then from Montreal's point of view, to keep that momentum going, where, you know, create a little bit more chances, keep that possession, be a little bit more patient maybe in our build-up. But overall, both teams will be fairly happy with that first half. And you got to say that Montreal must have expected Vancouver to be better than they were in the opening game of the season.
Cowart rolls it all the way back for Jessica Wolf. Chumeth step inside for the Australian. Strokes it forward. Quinn to that left-hand side. Pante. Abdu. Pante continues the run. Abdu in the area. And the ricochet is away off the Korean Cherim. And it will be a corner. Vancouver rise. Reyes trotting across to that far side. Another new face in the Northern Super League this season from Bogota, Colombia. Reyes, Colombian international. Referee just trying to separate the players. Reyes, arm raised. Decent. Oh, it's, well, referee's whistle had gone. Referee saw a push. And Karpenko wasn't sure. It was a really good corner, had good weapon pace on it, didn't it?
It did, yeah. And again, I would do that exact same thing. Ask the questions of the goalkeeper, box them out a little bit, put them under some pressure. The referee sees enough in there that it's given a foul. Not sure who exactly that was against. It could have been against the goalkeeper or maybe one of the defenders. There's so much physical activity on set pieces these days. It seems to be more and more all the time.
Vancouver in a hurry. Abdu only as far as Hill. Hill again. Volleys it clear for the time being. Montreal can reset defensively. Yeah, it is part and parcel of the modern game, particularly on set pieces and corners. Penalty area gets crowded. Players competing for the same blade of turf. Offside is the call. So a chance for Montreal to make their way forward, as Megan Sauvé is doing. Natural left footer, Sauvé. Playing as a wing back, you've got to have skill and tenacity, but you need a good engine as well, because you're required upfield to provide the ammunition. But when you've got to defend as a 5, you're expected to track back as well. Quinn with the header. Bennett trying to turn, does so cleverly. And Boychuk just too far ahead of her. I think it might have been offside anyway. And the Japanese goalkeeper Jessica Wolf to the edge of her 18-yard box. Decides to go long this time, looking for a flick on. They're coming together between Di Filippo and Bilbao.
Now we talked a lot about her off the opening too, that she likes to get the physical side of things and willing to compete. Sometimes pushes it just a little bit too far.
Reyes. Pante looking to turns into J-Rem, and then Paczerski, ball out of play. Montreal ball. Bilbao. Seto. Capadona. Square ball for Hill. Wondering where Survey is. There she is. Hill continues her run. And runs into Tumeth. Coward. Hill will let it roll into touch. Pounds in party mode. Abdu, a couple of her former teammates, about forced backwards. Good press from Montreal. Coward towards halfway. Di Filippo did well to control it. Quinn trying to force Paczerski wide. Paczerski thought about it. Quinn sticking to the task, and then off the post again. Lisa Paczerski, so difficult to shake off the ball and so close to another goal.
Yeah, incredibly fast feet, great feet, and good defending by Quinn there as well. But to get the shot off near post, does come off the post, off the goalkeeper, and out for a corner.
Jessica Wolf got a little fortunate there. Ricocheted off the post and then off her back.
Yeah, you don't want to be beat there near post. That would have been ugly for her.
So Minas will take the corner for Montreal, looking to re-establish that lead. Hill trying to get there. Might have been a push. Bilbao couldn't get there quickly enough. Petty forward for Montreal. Cowart, more height than distance on the head up. Hill might get there, and then the header from Bennett didn't have the purchase on it, and medical teams may be needed. There was a coming together there between Bennett and one of the Vancouver defenders, and they both stayed down. William Marcotte just a glance over her shoulder as indeed the medical teams arrive at pace. Trying to identify the Vancouver player who's on the deck there. Certainly Bennett was the Montreal player, and she, as you can see, is now sitting up. I'm hearing it's Jessica Cowart from a different camera angle, the central defender. Now you can see number 3. Indeed it is just Cowart. It's taking a little longer. Bennett is up. Another look at this. It was a ball that was there to be won.
Yeah, Capadona does very well, just putting it over top into the dangerous area, and two very competitive players coming together. Really, really close, strong.
Bang right there,
Yeah.
Bennett on Cowart.
Yeah, it looked like more like a knock than a twist. Let's hope that that's the case for both of them.
I mean, Bennett was certainly entitled to go for the ball. She got her header on it and took Cowart out in the process. Happily, Cowart is back on her feet and may need to go to the touchline for extra medical attention before she returns. So Vancouver may be temporarily down to 10 while the running repairs continue. Tumith. And about. Filippo back for the Australian. Quinn helping out defensively. In the absence of Coward. Yaka picked off. And Montreal take over in midfield. At least temporarily. Seto. And another heavy challenge from Abdou, this time on the French veteran Bilbao. Certainly felt that challenge.
Yeah, Abdou just does well winning the ball, then gets away from her a little bit. 50-50. 6 of one, a half dozen the other, but definitely was a bit of a catch there and a foul. Dangerous again from Abdou, though.
Approaching the hour mark in Laval. Game still knotted at 1 apiece. Header forward by about. Di Filippo determined to win it. And needs to stay on side. It's about wins the corner for Vancouver. Some activity on the bench for the Roses. Confirm that for you in just a moment. Looks as though Bilbao is going to be rested, but not until after the set piece. Abdou comes short and wins another corner for Vancouver. So strong in possession, difficult to knock off the ball. Pante again. Different approach this time. Abdou making a nuisance of herself. Pante, keeper comes. Oh, Penko poured it away, but at the expense of a third straight corner for the Rise. Good phase of possession for the visitors.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good pressure, and they're dealing with it well. Montreal as well on the set pieces. This is the third one in session here. We're just putting them under some pressure. But I think the size of Montreal is really being able to deal with it. That's why they've not had any opportunities as of yet.
Weyers again, just too much on it. And the wind didn't help that time. It floats harmlessly behind, and now the change, I believe, will be made. And confirmation, the introduction of Laurie Thibault. Like for like change for Charlotte Bilbao. Change that Robert Rossitoué has often made. So, Bilbao off. And Thibault is on. And Montreal through Chloe Minas. Make their way forward. Seto looking for the ball forward, finds Bennett successfully. Yeka keeping her company. Capadona for Stephanie Hill. Looking up the left flank this time. Cowart was diligent. Abdou maybe here, one-on-one. Cuts inside, slightly heavy touch, but there are players over here. Oh my goodness me. Longhurst, I think, had the goal at her mercy, but scooped it over the bar.
What a great opportunity here for Vancouver. Abdou does very well, holding the ball up, cutting it on, getting herself options either to use a left foot and get a strike on target, or finding the open Longhurst to just blast it over from a really good spot.
Hence the reaction. She knows she should have done better, at least hit the target or tested the goalkeeper.
Oh yeah, you're not going to get a better chance than that away from home. You're just not.
Montreal have dodged a bullet. This time Quinn well forward. Cross face of goal, but it'll evade everybody. It must have taken a deflection en route, because it is a Vancouver ball. Longhurst keen to get on with it. Waits for the arrival of Pante. Pante trying to keep the move going. Paczerski trying to make sure she doesn't. Bennett head in. Vancouver ball. Plenty of energy from the Vancouver eyes. Certainly, as you mentioned a little earlier, nothing like the last meeting between these two teams, which Montreal won, well, handily would be perhaps the understatement of the season. But this is a rejuvenated Vancouver team. A couple of wins under their belts. Confidence, self-belief, a togetherness, unity in the team.
Yeah, it's a long season. You're going to drift in and out of form. Injuries are going to come into play for every single team, and they've rebounded quite well here.
Reyes chips it forward. Danger for Montreal. Volleyed away, only as far as Yeka, who returns it with interest. And Anna Karpenko, under no pressure, kept her eye on the ball. Decides to go long this time. Looking for the direct approach, looking for Bennett or Boychuk. It is week 6 of the Northern Super League, presented by BMO, official bank of the NSL. They're locked together 1-1. Between the leaders and the champions, Abdu trying to make a change to all that. And Capadona, not for the first time, had to tidy up at the back for Montreal. And now the substitute, Thibault. Bennett trying to get away from Yeka every time she gets the ball. Sura Yeka's breathing down her neck. Minas, that's clever. Inside the defender, Bennett holds it up to the frustration of Pante. Now a little bit of room to measure the cross. Keeper comes, and that'll make Jessica Wolf feel an awful lot better.
Very good goalkeeping. Good hands. Last week I was going to criticize her a little bit for one of the plays where she just sort of lacked that concentration on an easy play and forgot what she's good at and just catch the ball, but that was much better from her.
Stoppage in play. You can see Anne-Valerie Seto just clutching her right instep there. Needs some running repairs. So a momentary pause in proceedings. Everybody can just breathe for a moment. And, Jessica Cowart, remember she had some treatment 10 minutes or so ago, getting that left knee strapped. Seto's still down. They're just looking at that calf. Was there a coming together with Abdu? Apparently there was, yeah. Certainly felt something as Abdu teased her with the ball. And,
yeah, you just worry about a bit of a twist there.
Yep. Some impromptu coaching from Anja Heiner-Muller. Vancouver determined to build on the recent 2 wins. And I would imagine if you offered them a point that they currently have right now, they'd probably snatch your hand off and say, we'll take it. Although, I've got a feeling they're feeling a little bit more ambitious than that.
Well, they've certainly shown it. they're not playing for a draw. They're playing for the 3 points, and Longhurst just had the best chance of the game that blew over the top of the net, which have potentially give them the lead.
Triple change coming up. I can see Naomi Paquin and Evelyn Badu. Zeto picked up that injury a moment ago. Looks like she may be replaced. Mbala, Olivia Mbala is the other player being brought in. So triple change for the Montreal Roses as we reach the midpoint of the second half.
They didn't look completely ready to make those substitutions, and I think the referee just said, well, we're going to
get on with it until you're ready.
Exactly.
Yeah. Changes are imminent, let's put it that way. Lucy Capadonna. Hill has Survey to her left. Survey decides not to move forward for the time being. Minas loses out. Reyes takes over on the edge of her own penalty area.
Minas just dwelling on the ball a little bit too long there. Uncharacteristic of her.
Bring the long ball forward, but sails over the head of Longhurst. Out of play for a Montreal throw. Now, Jay Rim is saying, well, are we going to make these changes or what? I think we are finally going to make.
Yeah, here we go.
I think we're finally going to make these changes. Okay, here we go. All right, we know the three players: Naomi Paquin, Evelyn Badu, the Ghanaian international, and the youngster Olivia Mbala are definitely coming on. 13 there is Badu. Started last week in place of Jay Rim, who is substituted. Naomi Paquin comes on. And there you go, there is the full set. So Seto, Cherim and Boychuk are off. Paquin, Badu and Mbala. So that is 4 of the permitted 5 changes for the Montreal Roses. Thibault having come on a little earlier. So clearly Robert Ositoy thinks there is a more effective way, a better tactical formation, of course, fresh legs and fresh ideas, Craig.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that was a good time to make those changes as well, because Vancouver seemed to be getting a little bit more on top and creating some chances, and I think Montreal needed some fresh legs.
Paczerski pointing that she wants it to the right-hand side. Hill. Survey knocks it forward. Paquin wearing 7, first chance to get involved for the substitute. But Di Filippo feeds Reyes, everything to her left. Including, of course, number 99 and Josie Longhurst. Well, she had an opportunity 5 minutes ago, but this time Josie Longhurst is Johnny on the spot, takes the pass from Latifa Abdu, and Vancouver have come from behind and lead the leaders in Laval.
Fantastic for Vancouver's point of view, really is, and they deserve it. And this is why I think some of the changes from Montreal were coming and came in just a few moments ago to sort of get some fresh legs out there, because they were starting to lose contact with some of their players. This is a nice finish from Longhurst from close range. She missed one a little while ago, and it brings a smile to her face because this is really well done from her as well. Second opportunity, defended on the first one, close range, couple yards out, bangs it in. Vancouver with the lead.
Big smile from Josie Longhurst. English, Welsh player, British player, let's put it that way. And her first ever NSL goal. And it has given Rise an important lead. As soon as she scored the goal, the Longhurst is substituted out along with Reyes, Nikki Stanton and Jamie Perreault are on in their place. So flurry of activity on the bench. Meanwhile, at the other end of the field, Montreal looking to respond. Coming together, referee having a look. Pandemonium inside the Vancouver penalty area. It eventually goes out for a corner. Goodness me.
What another great run down that right-hand side. You're obviously going to see a reaction from Montreal. This is not normal what we've seen from them all season long, but they're not going to give up their opportunities and keep pressing when they get those chances, and a good opportunity there for Montreal.
Backhand will take the corner for Montreal. Plenty of air underneath it. Hill trying to get there. Hill again. He can't get it clear. And a third opportunity for Stephanie Hill, but didn't get a clean contact on it, and it ran kindly for Jessica Wolf. Bowls it out to that left-hand side. Yaka inside the last 20 minutes in Laval. Vancouver have come from behind and are threatening to become the first team to beat the Montreal Roses this season. Perrault just on as a substitute all the way across Karpenko's goal. Evelyn Badu helps it forward. Badu will get a second opportunity. We heard the call forward now, and Montreal needs to be going forward despite that early goal. Those brushes with the woodwork, they find themselves behind at a critical point in the game. Now battling with Bennett. Bennett's goal seems a long time ago now, and it may count for nothing.
Vancouver dealt with the pressures from Bennett quite well in this match. Other than her scoring the first goal, she could have, you know, got more chances, and really with the tightness has been great from Vancouver in their defensive marking.
Now I've got a touch on it. Montreal intent on keeping the pressure on. Capadonna took a deflection. Quinn volleys it away. Backhand battling for possession. Sauvé takes over. Now Hill. Thibault empty on that, looking for Backhand. And the Australian Tori Tumut did her job. Back and face, as they say. This is an important moment and possession phase for Montreal. Clearly, of course, intend on drawing level as soon as possible. That means that Vancouver just have to focus all the more defensively. Wolf calls off the defenders. The pressure eases for the time being. Tumut up towards halfway. Abdou couldn't control it. Breaks for Sauvé. Thibault. Bala. Forward again. Looking for Bennett. Made it her own. Badu is on hand. Badu goes down. It will be a corner and nothing more. Badu got her first start last weekend against Ottawa. Didn't play the entire game, but another physical presence is what I thought of her first start in Montreal. So Vancouver need to be strong physically and mentally in the next 20 minutes. Hill, the header. Capadonna, referee, spotted an offside with the help of her assistant on the far touchline. Well, both sides giving absolutely everything. There's no question about the commitment, is there?
No, there's not. And, you know, it just looking at Vancouver just only a few weeks ago, you know, what a it's night and day. You know, structurally, I mean, we know there's a lot of changes in this squad from their championship side that won at the last year, but they were disjointed at times. They didn't really know when to drop off, when to make forward movements, when to close down, when to tighten up, and that's changed in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So we knew that would build and it would get better, but I didn't think it would improve so quickly as as we've seen in over just the last couple of weeks.
Quinn volleys it forward. Campadona underneath it. Badu back to help out. Vancouver looking for a third straight win after losing the first 3 this season.
And conceding a whole bunch of goals doing it.
Conceding a whole bunch of goals.
That's changed.
It has indeed. Kumeth cushions it for Wolf. I'm going to say this only once. Vancouver won by a single goal on their last visit to Montreal. That was back last October. Di Filippo scored the winning goal, assisted by Lisa Peczerski on that day. Can they secure another win at Stade Boreal in the early weeks of the 2026 season?
It's going to take a monumental effort from Montreal just because of the confidence that Vancouver were playing in, not only in their offensive zone but defensively, and structured very well in a way that's going to be tough to break down.
Bala for Thibault, the substitutes combining. Now Survey's got a little bit of room to measure the cross towards the back post. Comfortable for Wolf. Saw it early, made her mind up to come and claim.
Yeah, again, coming out to claim the second time in this half, which has been very, very important at the right times, just to slow things down for defenders. No defenders like anything more than a goalkeeper that comes and does that, I could assure you.
That's why you were so popular.
Yeah, I used to be anchored on the goal line.
Peczerski and Longhurst, look at the battle. You know, nothing area of the pitch. Just a real sign of the commitment from both teams. Peczerski, as we mentioned earlier in the piece, up against her old team. Doubly determined, I'm sure, to come away from with something. But if Peczerski and the Roses are going to do so, well, the clock is ticking. A little over 10 minutes to play. And Vancouver have turned around a 360, conceded the early goal, got back in it, and then took the opportunity when it came along in the second half to lead for the first time. Henri Thibault for Survey. Home fans trying to lift their team. Bala back for Survey. Away come Vancouver again. When veteran Canadian international, of course, Olympic champion back in 2021. Campadona just enough on it to get Peczerski moving. And she goes again, Lisa Peczerski, surrounded by a posse of black-shirted players. They know the danger she poses, but getting the ball off is easier said than done sometimes. Meanwhile, Badu gives chase, wins it cleanly, and she finds the service into the area. Paquin! Naomi Paquin! And perseverance pays off. Wolf is beaten again. 10 minutes to go. Home fans in raptures. It's 2-2 in Laval.
Well, I said it was going to be a monumental effort for Montreal to get back in this game because Vancouver were looking so strong in all areas of the field. And did they ever? They have some lively players. We talked about the comfort they are on the ball and how they create chances. And you can never count them out. They're not unbeaten for no reason in this season, that's for sure. Good spirit, good fight back, good strength, good ability here to get the ball into the dangerous area. Second attempt, doesn't make any mistake. Good shot, high near post, but I wouldn't blame the goalkeeper from there. It's a difficult one to save.
And just got ahead of Yeka, turned the corner, and then had the calmness to fire accurately past Wolf from virtually point-blank range. And Yoli Pakan celebrates her second goal of the NSL season. Well,
this is a classic, has to be. I mean, it's just been absolutely brilliant to watch. Lead changes, the team seem down and out, they come back. Got the woodwork rattled 4 times. This has been great.
Now, if I was to say, I'm not convinced we've seen the end of the scoring. That would put the kibosh on it.
Yeah.
And the game would just die. So I'm not going to say that, but goodness me, this really could go either way. It's one of those games, isn't it?
Yeah, we're going to see at least one really good chance in this match to come. Who is it going to be?
Longhurst just slipped. Already scored one. In fact, it was Anabout who also scored in the first half. Another change for Vancouver. Yaka's going to take a seat. Like-for-like change at the back. The introduction of Kedney Faulkner. He needs to get off once your number comes up. Slight tweak in the rules. Once the number board comes off, you need to get off the field within 10 seconds, or the substitution can be delayed for an extra minute.
I like that. They've made a couple of decent rule changes, I think, definitely, in my opinion, in favor of them.
Designed to speed the game up. I don't think anybody could argue with that. Quinn heads it forward. Is there another twist in the tail? I've got a feeling there might be. Chumuth stood her ground. Cowart. Faulkner first touch for the substitute. Slots into that back three. Filippo. As far as Hill. Breaks for Thibault. A little over 5 minutes to play, plus stoppage time. Sauvé needs to be careful. Hill. The right-hand side. Minas working away. Goodness, she's got through a lot of work in central midfield. Referee's going to play the advantage. Not now, she isn't.
Good officiating.
Referee will now bring it back.
Was willing to let the play build, and if there was an advantage, and that closed down quickly, and she blew up a foul. I thought it was a really well done.
Marla. Apadona. Nowhere to go. Plenty forward for the Roses. Inside the last 5 minutes, having drawn level. Can they snatch back the lead again? Certainly not beyond the bounds of possibilities. Oh, and they may be in the Hill. Couldn't quite get there in the penalty area. Oh my goodness me. Jessica Di Filippo. And Karpenko is beaten again. And Di Filippo didn't need an invitation to shoot, and Vancouver lead in a classic by 3 goals to 2.
Well, it certainly looked as though Hill was favored to win there. Her legs are absolutely shot. She gets overrun, and then basically the opportunity just opens up for Vancouver from nothing at all. And the Filippo absolutely brilliantly done finish. Here's a nice ball out wide, but here, look, Hill struggling a little bit getting there and gets overrun, beaten cleanly. Now she's down and out. She's committed to the play. She's done, and now it's just a matter of picking out a player, making that run. Can you do it? Yes, you can. Keeping the ball down under the bar, and it's a goal for Vancouver, and they have another lead.
Filippo scored the winner for Vancouver in Laval in October 2025. She might just have repeated the feat. Credit, by the way, to Jamie Perreault, who made that lung-bursting run down the right-hand side, got there ahead of Hill, and then provided the accurate ball for Di Filippo to hit it first time and give Karpenko zero chance from 7 or 8 yards out. Meanwhile, at the other end, Backhand scored one, trying to turn provider. Di Filippo, anywhere will do for Quinn. And Bala needs to deal with it. Abdu wonders why the whistle didn't go.
Yeah, she had a case for sure.
And Eoluabi, and just in the nick of time, just Di Filippo.
Yeah, there's a goal. I mean, she crashed across on a set piece earlier on in the match with a brilliant strike, and this time she gets one in open play. Gets herself in an open position, got lots of space, just needed to be picked out, and was. You can see the smile on her face, well deserved. She's worked her socks off in this match.
Final change for the Roses, the introduction of Claire Moniard or Chloe Minas. Missed last week's game through injury, but Moniard fit again now to play perhaps an important part in the closing minutes. Montreal ball midway inside the Vancouver half of the field. Thibault belted away up to halfway, and Bala under no pressure. 90 seconds plus stoppage time to play. A 5-goal thriller, and that's not counting the efforts that rebounded off the woodwork. There were at least 4 of them. When Perot on the charge again, this time Hill gets there first at the expense of a throw.
Yeah, Hill's really, really tired. Her legs are just struggling, and saw that she looks as though she took a good couple layers of skin off the side of her leg too on that challenge. That's going to be sore.
Tumeth waving her teammates forward as she takes the throw. Out of play and turned over to the Roses, but they need to be playing in their opposition half of the field. Thibault trying to make sure that happens, and about making sure the ball goes in the other direction. Capadona scampering. Montreal time is the enemy. Bennett still on, but she needs some support. Eventually, Montreal are going to be forced to throw the kitchen sink at Vancouver and take risks defensively.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether they have the legs to do it. You know, like they're so tired, and Vancouver seems to have a little bit more energy than Montreal do at these late stages of this match.
Madonna, Thibault helping it forward. Moniard was hoping to be the recipient, but she took a step to her left and the ball went to her right. On we go, and Bala back for Karpenko again, waving her teammates forward. No time to play their way out now. They've just got to go route one. Quinn underneath it. Sauvé forced backwards by Perot, trying to turn her. That looked like a foul to me from the Vancouver substitute. Sauvé now wearing the captain's armband following the departure of Boychuk. So a minimum of 4 minutes of stoppage time. Yellow there, by the way, for Tori Tumeth for time wasting. Vancouver defender. Hill still a spring in those tired legs. Vancouver, they just need to manage the next 2.5 minutes, score a famous victory. Remember, Montreal, the only unbeaten team in the Northern Super League. That might be about to change unless they can make something happen in that goal mouth to your left. Karpenko comes, and Bala Really no time for finesse now. Or was that a handball? They want offside. Referee spotted it with assistance from her assistant. Vancouver keeping it tight at the back and stepping up in a line.
A little bit of time there at the top of the box. Banged it into the body.
There is still time, but not much of it for Montreal. Hill and Bala. Again, they've just got to go long now. Get bodies forward. Hope for some accuracy or perhaps a defensive mistake. There is time for one more opportunity for Montreal. They've got to get hold of the football, get forward, push back for the umpteenth time by the Vancouver Rise, the 2025 champions, who can smell a famous victory. Maybe 60 seconds longer. Quinn throwing their body on the line. And Bala again towards the left. Will they get one more break? Badu couldn't get there. Survey will get there. Needs to be an accurate cross. Will it go for a throw or a corner? It's going to be a throw off Ulabi. Maybe 30 seconds more. It is going to be a goal kick for Vancouver, and maybe Montreal won't get another opportunity as Hill and her defenders make their way back. Wolf will take all the time the referee will allow her. As we get to the closing seconds. Referee has seen enough. Miriam Marcotte blows her final whistle in Laval. And a thriller in the sunshine. One in the final analysis by the Vancouver Rise. And Jessica Di Filippo's late strike, as it was in October last year, decisive, topsy-turvy, classic game. 5 goals, woodwork, chances aplenty, and the Rise edge it in a 5-goal thriller.
Well, it's more than what you would know. You'd think that the champions would play like, but you can't understate the change and the turnaround from the early parts of the season for the Vancouver Rise. It's just been an absolutely brilliant set a difference from this team that we saw a few weeks ago. Winning in Halifax across the country, going back to Vancouver, doing it against Toronto, who they beat in the final, and then going to Montreal against the unbeaten team. That you just can't get any better than that. Picking up another 3 points, full of energy, full of confidence. Brilliant play for Vancouver, well played.
Montreal's unbeaten run is finally ended by Jessica Di Filippo and the Vancouver Rise at Stade Boreal. We've got some highlights to show you from the second half. It was 1-1 at half time, and then let's have a look at what happened in the second half. Abdu here round the back, and it was Josie Longhurst,
from tight spots after missing a really good chance with 10 minutes before that as well. Brought a smile to her face because she deserved it. Got in a really good difficult position there. Finished it off on the second attempt.
So 2-1 at that stage, but Montreal weren't done. Badu and then Pacan evaded the defender, and a good accurate shot for the equalizer.
Yeah, another one was just a little bit of a second chance there. Defended fairly well. The first one bounced kindly, but doesn't make a mistake at all on the second one. We're never back in it.
So Montreal back 2-2. They think they're getting a point, and then here comes Jamie Perreault outpacing a tired Stephanie Hill. Now she's looking to her left. Who's she going to pick out? Jess Di Filippo. And just as she did in October, Di Filippo with what turned out to be the winner.
Yeah, and fresh legs against really, really tired legs there. As you can see, the Hill was just done, and they just opened things up for Vancouver. Like I said, tons of energy. Filippo does very, very well, deserved that goal.
One of the most entertaining matches I've ever had the pleasure and the privilege to call in the Northern Super League. Look at those chances on goals at both ends of the field. It doesn't really tell the whole story. It was dramatic, it was exciting. and we thoroughly enjoyed this. Both teams played their full part and looked to get points or a point. And the Montreal Roses applaud the home fans for sticking with them. All smiles from the visitors. 3 straight wins now for the Vancouver Rise, and that is good enough after that worrying start to the season to take them into 3rd place in the table and close the gap just a little bit. YouTube's a watch party, the first ever watch party, tomorrow from McMahon Stadium in Alberta. It is the Calgary Wild against AFC Toronto. Streaming live on YouTube at 4 Eastern. Join Kate and Erin for all the action tomorrow afternoon in Week 6 of the Northern Super League. So Montreal were unbeaten coming into Week 6. That stat is no longer. They were twice in front, but they couldn't hold a resurgent Vancouver Rise. Jessica DiFilippo with the decisive strike to give Vancouver Rise all 3 points. On behalf of Craig Forrest and our entire team, I'm Nigel Reid. Thanks so much for watching.